Welcome to our virtual classroom. Join me for some fun learning. Hello, welcome to Legacy Lineage Online Learning. It is Miss Nicole here for story time. So we have had a lot of great stories that we have read over the last couple of, well, maybe week or two. We celebrated our year anniversary of being a virtual classroom. We got a new virtual classroom pet. We celebrated having over 100 stories, and we did a 100 count of dinosaurs and read two books that also were included in our 100 count of dinosaurs. And we did 100 motivational movement Monday exercises. So now I would like to do something a little different. So, and we're celebrating, and so we're talking about celebrating, and I want to talk about a holiday that is celebrated, and it's called Passover. I don't know if any of you are Jewish or have Jewish friends, but Jewish people celebrate Passover. So I have two fun stories. Since we are celebrating, we are also going to celebrate Passover. Passover is a holiday that comes before Easter comes. So you may hear some people talking about Passover. You may see some books about Passover. And I have two that I'm going to read. I don't know much about Passover. I'm not Jewish and I don't celebrate Passover, but I have heard of Passover. And I kind of celebrate it because I like to do some of the things that I hear in some of the Passover stories, but really to really be able to celebrate it is not my culture. Anyways, you don't have to be someone's culture to celebrate with them, because that's what being diverse is all about, and including others. So on story time, we always want to be teaching about others and learning about others and their culture and maybe the foods that they eat. So let's see what our Passover stories are all about. I really like this one called the Alligator Seder, and I like the Alligator Seder because the alligators live in Florida. And if you remember or have seen any of my previous story times, Miss Nicole is a Southern girl because she was born in Florida. So Alligator Seder. I'm trying to hold it right so you guys can get really good view of the pictures. The way I have the lighting is a little different. Okay, here we go. Alligator Seder. I am reading. Look at me, look at me. Time to put the toys away and listen to what I say. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. This is the front of the book. This is the back of the book. This is the spine. This is the spine. This is the front of the books. This is the back of the books. And this is the spine. And this is the spine. So the front of this book tells me the title is Alligator Seder. That rhymes. Alligator Seder. Every year in Florida, our favorite Sunshine State, a very special family takes out its Seder plate. They look for bits of chametz. They're good investigators. They really just like you and me, except they're alligators. Let's find out what they need the Seder plate for, because they're really looking for it. Mama sets the table. Gelta fish is made. Her cooking is the best in the entire Everglade. Their fellow gator guests arrive and quickly grab a seat. The gators are all happy and they really love to eat. So now some of their gator friends who also celebrate Passover are coming over. So let's stop for a second and do some counting. So there were 3 alligators setting up and looking for their Seder plate. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3. I'll bring it close. 1, 2, 3. But then they invited over some guests. How many guests do they have? 1, 2, 3. So now 3 plus 3, let's do some math and find out what 3 plus 3 is. Let's count them all together. So that means every alligator that's on the page, we're going to count and find out what 3 plus 3 is. Some of you may already know. Here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3. My finger's kind of covering it. 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Mama lights the candles. Papa blesses wine. The Seder is beginning, so the gators all recline. It's time for 4 question asked by Baby Gator. Why is this night different from all the other nights? Then comes the Passover story, as at every family Seder. So they tell the story of why they celebrate Passover. Gators love their matzah. They plan to eat a bunch. Their many extra teeth make for an even louder crunch. The meal is being served now, and the gators start to chomp. The delicious smells of dinner go drifting through the swamp. And there they are, sitting at the table, all celebrating together, enjoying Passover night. And for holidays, most of the time you have over friends or family, or you celebrate with the family that you already live with. So that's something that we have in common when we celebrate different holidays. Where is the Afro-Kamin? I don't know if I'm saying that correct, but that's what this word says. It could be anywhere. One gator quickly finds it and brings it back to share. Everyone is going home. They all say, see you later. Another year, another splendid Alligator Seder. All right, so I came across a word that I don't know. And what I'm going to do is, while we're together, I'm just going to research it. I have a dictionary on my phone, and it will tell me how to pronounce this word. So I'm going to type it in. So it's my dictionary app. So I'm going to type in the word Afrikomen. So my dictionary doesn't recognize that word. So that might be a word that is from Jewish culture. So now I'm going to Google it. And I'm going to type it in again. Afrikomen. We know it's a type of food because they said they share it. All right. Let's see how it's pronounced. Okay, we're going to listen together. All righty? Here we go. Let's hear it. Turn it up. All right, here we go. Ready to hear it?
Afrikomen.
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 Afrikomen. Can you say Afrikomen?
Afrikomen.
Afrikomen. So I learned something new. The name of this food is Afrikomen. So it must be something that they hide that you can eat together. Afrikomen. And that's finding the Afrikomen and them eating it together is the end. And then the back is just a picture of their living space that says, come join the Alligator Seder. Love it. So these are my first Passover books. So I also, in all of the books that I have, I also don't own any Passover books, but now I do. So we heard something that they ate in this. They said gators love their matzah. And when I was at the bookstore and I was thinking about the books I was thinking about, what do I want to say to the virtual classroom? What are we going to talk about? And last year we did a lot about Easter, but I didn't talk very much about Passover. So this year, my mind and my thoughts were on planning to share something about Passover for children who may be watching and who celebrate Passover. Representation matters. That means you want to see things that you are familiar with, that you can relate to. So they said they love their matzah. And guess what our next story is called? I Love Matzah. So let's hear about this little boy who loves his matzah. I eat matzah for breakfast. When I wake up, I eat it with milk from my Passover cup. So he has a special Passover cup, and there he is. And his cup says, Happy Passover. I eat my matzah snack after my morning stroll. I eat it with yogurt in my Passover bowl. I eat matzah for lunch. At 12 o'clock noon, I spread on some jam with my Passover spoon. And I noticed that he has a pet in the background. Do you see his pet? What kind of pet does he have? A cat, right? And what kind of pet do we have? There she is back there, Ruby Redfish. Hi, Rube. All right, I eat matzah for dinner in the evening with fish. So just like in the Passover story that we read, Alligator Seder, they ate gefilte fish. So it says in his story, he eats matzah for dinner in the evening with fish. I eat it with carrots on my Passover dish. I eat matzah for dessert when my plate's cleared away. I eat it with fruit on my Passover tray. So again, some holidays have special foods that they eat. Like, can you name the food that most people are after for Thanksgiving? What do most people like to eat for Thanksgiving? Steak? No. Do they like to eat spaghetti for Thanksgiving? No. Do they like to eat turkey for Thanksgiving? That's right. So on Thanksgiving, we eat turkey, and people who celebrate Thanksgiving eat turkey. And on Passover, people who celebrate Passover eat gefilte fish, matzah. They have a afikomen, we learned from the other story. They also have a special fruits that they eat on their Passover tray. It says, I eat matzah at bedtime. At night when it's late, I eat it with cheese on my Passover plate. And my baby brother who sleeps in a crib. And I see a symbol that I recognize. So this symbol is a symbol that you will see related to lots of different Jewish things. And this symbol hanging above his brother's crib is called the Star of David. Can you say the Star of David? That is the Star of David. So it says he eats his matzah at bedtime. When it's late, I eat it with cheese on my Passover plate. And my brother and my baby brother who sleeps in his crib, makes a mess the next morning on his Passover bib. Happy Passover! So it seems like this holiday starts at night. It seems like it starts at night and goes into the next day, because I also noticed when we were reading the Alligator Seder that when it got late, I just noticed that it was dark outside in this picture. So maybe their holiday starts in the evening and goes into the day. Almost like for people who celebrate Christmas, we start Christmas Eve and then we move on and we go and we actually celebrate Christmas the next morning. So, the end. And there's the baby brother again with his Passover bib, making a Passover mess and enjoying his matzah. So those are our 2 Passover stories. And let's practice the Passover words we learned. Let's start with matzah. Matzah. That's one of the Passover foods we learned. How about gefilte fish? Can you say gefilte fish? I kind of like that word, gefilte fish. Can you say gefilte fish? Gefilte fish. We learned that they have a fikamen. And we also learned the word Seder because they have a special Seder plate that they use. Let me see, was that all? These were very good books. I enjoyed those stories. Let me just peek again as I go back. And then we learned that Passover is a holiday that begins at night and passes over to the next day. Well, thank you for joining me for our first Passover stories. And if you celebrate Passover, if you are Jewish, or even if you're not Jewish, but you still celebrate Passover. So I wanted to learn more about a fikamen because it was something that I did not know about as we were reading our Passover stories, and I did some more research. And I found out that a fikamen is actually a half a pizza matzah. So a fikamen and matzah, they mean the same thing. In this story, our Alligator Seder, let me go back. We notice that it says gators love their matzah, right? And then it says, where is the afikamen? So what I learned is that the afikamen, it comes after the dessert, or it's dessert, and it is a half a pizza matzah, and they break it in 2 and then they set it aside, and after they have their meal, it's their dessert. Okay, so what they do is they have a piece of matzah, 1 piece, they break it in 2 in the beginning of their Passover Seder, and then they set it aside, and then after dinner, like a dessert, they enjoy the rest of the afikamen, or the matzah. And so I want to go back and look at our Alligator Seder and see if they show when he breaks the Passover bread. Nope, they don't really show it, but they do show them here at the end enjoying it. So I just wanted to do some more research and learn a little bit more about Passover, because again, when we're learning about how other people celebrate, we don't know stuff because it's not something that we celebrate. Now, if you ask me how to celebrate Thanksgiving, or you ask me how I celebrate Christmas, or how I celebrate Easter, I would be able to tell you all about that. But because I'm new to learning about Passover, I had some new things to learn. Once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. And remember, you are the you in unique.